Good morning, everyone. Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. So I have a couple things I want to get done today. One of them is I need to plant my next round of cool flowers or fall sown seeds for planting about 5 weeks before my first frost date. These flowers are going to be for my own personal cut flower garden as well as my flower field. And I have a ton. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different snapdragon varieties, which is crazy. So I'm going to be doing some soil blocking for these. I have done soil blocking inside already for one round. I've done Lisianthus and Delphinium, and they are actually sprouting. Let me show you. So it's a little dark in here. Hopefully you all can see what's going on, but this is my seed starting shelf that I actually have in my kitchen. So it was in my bedroom, but because we are doing all the construction, which is almost done, we just moved it out here just to make some more space for the bedroom, for the master bedroom. Over here, you can see I have my lamium. This is the lamium that I propagated maybe 2 weeks ago, I would say. So you can see I do have some empty cells where the cuttings didn't take, and that's totally normal. They don't all take. It's not 100%. If I get 100% during a propagation session, I am super, super proud of myself. But you can see some of the cuttings, they're starting to grow tiny new leaves. And that's when I know that there's roots. That's when I know the cuttings have taken, and that's when I know that they're doing well. Not all of them have new leaves right now. You can see this one. It's not dead. It's still thriving. It probably does have some roots at this point, but I don't see any new leaves yet. So I'm just going to wait, and I'm going to kind of watch it and see how it does. So overall, I would say this is probably, I don't know, like 60 or 70% success rate. And I feel like that's really, really good for a propagation session. Then over here, I have my trays, my soil blocking trays. Don't make fun of my Legos. I didn't know how else I wanted to keep the saran wrap, the plastic, away from the little seedlings. And I thought, oh, Lego. So I had my daughters help me. It's just too funny. I think this is a crack up. So over here, these are my delphiniums. These are my belladonna mixed delphiniums. Look at the seedlings. They're looking so good. And then over here are actually my Lisianthus, and those are looking good as well. So this soil blocking method is working out really well for me. It is saving so much room. I would say the only drawback that I'm noticing is they dry out so much more quickly, obviously because they are not totally surrounded by plastic, and there's less soil. These are Lisianthus as well. Doesn't that look great? So if I don't have the plastic on, then I find myself having to water like twice a day, literally twice a day. And that's a lot. So I put plastic on just to help them germinate. And then I will take the plastic off. Down here, I did a round of Camelot Mix foxgloves. Once I got word, I don't know if you guys heard, but watched my previous video earlier this week, I was invited to be a part of the Pence Gallery Garden Tour in May of 2023, which I am so honored to be a part of. And right around that time, it's early May, my foxgloves will be going in full swing. So I sowed around, these are all seeds that I harvested from my foxgloves that I have. They're super easy to harvest. And I am just getting a whole round of foxgloves so that I have plenty to plant, because I think that that's going to be a plant that I'm going to be leaning heavily on during the time of the garden tour. So these are on a heat mat. They're germinating right now. And then today I just have to sow the 9 different varieties of snapdragons, and I will do just on trays like this. Let's see. Here's my soil block. I'll just do more trays like this. I bought a whole bunch of these trays from Amazon. I will link it down below. One thing I did want to say, you guys were asking me, a couple of you were asking me about my soil blocks. These are tiny soil blocks. They're 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, and they are tiny. And some of the seedlings I'm going to be able to plant straight out from these. Lisa Mason Ziegler, who wrote the Cool Flower book, she does plant out a lot of her plants straight with these tiny soil blocks. If they grow bigger and if I don't plant them out in time, I bought this one. Well, actually it came in the set. And what you can do is you can make bigger soil blocks, and then you can just take these and just stick them right in the bigger soil block. And these are about the same size as these. So these will obviously take up a lot more room. And I'm planning on hopefully planting most of my seedlings out just with this size, but I think some of them that grow a little bit faster, I will have this just in case I need it. So the other thing I wanted to try and get to today is planting up my Cashmere Bouquet plants, or Mexican hydrangeas. I just bought 2 of them, 2 giant ones for $15 each, which was amazing. I purchased them at the McConnell Arboretum and Botanical Gardens in Redding when I was visiting my mom there. It's in the Turtle Bay Exploration Park. It is a fantastic arboretum and nursery. And I have to say, I really like purchasing plants from arboretums because you know that they're going to thrive in the climate. And the Redding climate is very, very similar to my climate here in Davis. So let me see if I can show you guys this plant. I did have a bloom on it, but it kind of faded. I didn't get around to filming this until after it faded, but I'll show you a picture right here of what the blooms look like. So it's a beautiful plant. It's a type of hydrangea, but apparently it can handle our heat a little bit better. However, it does still like shade, and it likes lots and lots of water. So my plan is I'm going to put it over in my cottage garden bed right underneath the birch tree, kind of on the other side where I have my false stem spirea, because birch trees like a lot of water. The birch tree is going to give it lots of shade. I think it'll be a perfect place for it. And then what I'm planning to do, I ordered some seeds from Swallowtail Garden Seeds, which is based out of Santa Rosa, where I grew up. And they had some, I hope I'm saying this right, Kirigami Columbine seeds. So they're the beautiful pale yellow columbine. I think it will be so pretty in the cottage garden bed, where I'm kind of going for like a whole range of pastels, like pastel blue, pink, purple, yellow. I'm kind of going for that whole color scheme in the cottage garden bed. I think it'll be really pretty with the pink of the Cashmere Bouquet. It'll have the yellow there, and then kind of right next to it, the blue of the plumbago on the tutor. So I think it'll be a really, really good spot. I'm excited to see how this plant does, just simply because I don't have a lot of experience with it. So we'll see how it does. First, I want to do the soil blocks, and I want to get those snapdragons planted though, because that's a timing issue. I got to get that done. Okay, got the seeds. All right, so I've got all my soil blocks made. I actually have them all labeled as well. I'm just putting the tape right underneath them. Over here, I have a Madame Butterfly mix, and so I want to do 3 whole groupings, so 60 cells of the Madame Butterfly mix. And so I just labeled it here, and then knowing it's just for this whole row right here. Every other one is just individual because I have so many different varieties of snapdragons, which I'm really excited about. So I have them all right here, and then so for snapdragons, you want to surface sow because they need light to germinate. But what they do recommend with the Johnny seed packets on the back, which has fantastic information, what they recommend is they recommend placing a light layer of vermiculite over the top as well, which helps retain the moisture and then keep the algae growth down. So what I have is this vermiculite, and it's kind of coarse vermiculite. Vermiculite is a mineral that they heat up in a furnace, and basically it causes this mineral to kind of blow up and become like an accordion, and the accordion mineral retains moisture, and so it keeps moisture in. And there's a lot of different minerals. A lot of people use it as an amendment into their soil. I usually just use vermiculite for seed starting, just putting it on top. It works really, really well. However, the bag that I purchased is pretty coarse, and I don't think the coarse vermiculite works very well when you're dealing with tiny little snapdragon seeds. So when I was at my mom's house, she had purchased a bag off Amazon of fine vermiculite, and the difference, which she was sowing her seeds, the difference between the vermiculite I had and the vermiculite she had was crazy. I had vermiculite jealousy. So I will link her bag of vermiculite down below. She got it from Amazon. It was pretty cheap. That is the bag that I will be buying from now on. I will be purchasing that variety from now on because I just loved it so much. But I had all of this vermiculite, you know, the coarse stuff, and I didn't want it to go to waste. So all I did is I put it in my blender. I have one of those Vitamix blenders, and I blended it up, and it worked perfectly. So now I have fine vermiculite, and I'm just gonna dust this on the top after I put the snapdragon seeds on the top of these cells. All right, so they are all sown. I'm gonna go over the varieties for you guys, just so you can see what I am doing. Okay, so the main one I have, and this is from my personal cut flower garden, it's Madame Butterfly, and it's a mix, and it has a whole bunch of different colors. I love these. They do so well. They bloom for most of the season. The first year I planted these, they bloomed almost the whole season. Of course, I was cutting on them, and once you start cutting on snapdragons, they don't bloom as well. They kind of get smaller and smaller and smaller stalks, but I'm excited to have this mix. Then I have Orleans Early Lemon Yellow, which looked like a beautiful pale yellow snap. Legend Light Pink. Chantilly Bronze, which would be, I'm excited about this one. I think it will be so, so beautiful. Madame Butterfly Red. Madame Butterfly Rose, Costa Silver. Now, Potomac Apple Blossom and Bridal Pink are two that I grew this past year from my cool flowers. The Potomac Apple Blossom did not do very well, and I think that's because these like a little bit longer days. So what I'm planning to do, I'm planning to put these in my flower field, and I'm planning to just leave them in there and see if they do better as the days get longer and we get further into summer. Unfortunately, I did not have a bunch of these, so I don't think that they're going to fill up the cells. So I'm going to say this now so I can remember that if I say the germination wasn't that good on these two, it's because I didn't have very many seeds and I didn't sow every single cell in the little grouping of 20. So remind me if I say that these two didn't have good germination, because that's why. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fine vermiculite and I'm just gonna dust it all over the top, and then I will spray it with my water bottle, and then I will put some saran wrap over it and put these on the heat mats. So much better. I love this fine vermiculite so much more. All right, so all my snapdragon seeds are sown. They are tucked in to their spot on the heat mat on my seed starting shelf, and they are happy. And now I can turn my attention to my Cashmere Bouquet plants, or my Mexican hydrangeas. You can see I already got one planted there. I am in my cottage garden underneath my birch tree. Guys see that there? And birch trees, of course, need lots and lots of moisture. They like moisture, and that's kind of a tough thing for my area because we are so dry. So we do have to irrigate our birch trees, and I do have two gallon emitters on my birch trees, and I don't even think that that's enough. I think it needs a little bit more. So my plan is to plant a lot of stuff underneath them that need a lot of water as well, so I can kind of use the water double. I can irrigate the plants that like a lot of water, and then also irrigate the birch tree at the same time. So that's why I thought the Cashmere Bouquet would be perfect under this birch tree, because it also likes a little bit more shade. I just think it'll be the perfect spot. So I've already got one of them in, and then I have the second one over there. Where is it? Yeah, right here. So I have to get that done. However, this whole video is kind of taking a different turn, because I thought when I had to dig this hole, this soil is a little bit compacted, and there are some tree roots around here. And I thought, I wonder if I use an auger. So you all are wonderful, and you all give me the best suggestions in the comment section. And probably the main suggestion that I get consistently whenever I bring out a shovel, the main suggestion I get is, why don't you use an auger? You should use an auger. And I think that that is great advice. I just always was resistant to an auger because I like working with my hands. I really enjoy working with my hands. I like digging holes. I like using my hands when I garden. And I thought that using an auger would kind of take away the joy of getting in the soil and getting it in the dirt. So once I got my property, once I got word that I would have my massive flower field, that I would have to dig lots and lots and lots of holes for my little seedlings, I thought, maybe it's time for an auger. Maybe it's time to start looking into something like that. So Power Planter, we all know Power Planter, the auger company, they're USA made. They offered to send me 2 different small augers to try out. One for planting bulbs, and then another for planting little small plants like my baby seedlings that I'm planning to plant in my flower field. This video is not sponsored. They are not giving me any money. They just let me try out their product, and as somebody who was pretty hesitant to use an auger, I appreciated that. I appreciated them willing to try their, or let me use their product, basically. You guys, what was I waiting for? So I came out here, I brought this out. It's just a 3-inch auger. It's not even the right size. And I started drilling small little holes. The Mexican hydrangea, or the Cashmere Bouquet, came in buckets this size. I think it's a 3 gallon size. And I just started digging little holes all around. And then I brought my shovel out because I was planning to dig out more of the soil and use my shovel. I have not even used my shovel. I did not even use my shovel to plant this one. I was just able to loosen up the soil enough with this auger and then use my hands to pull out the soil, and it was so much easier. So I have to say thank you to you all for you guys kept suggesting, get an auger, get an auger, get an auger. And I appreciate that because you all were, of course, right. You guys are always right. So I am so glad I have this. I only have an 18-volt drill. This is all Jason and I have. It's just kind of like the basic 100 something dollar drill that you can get at the big box store. And so when I was talking to Power Planter, they recommended that I stick with the smaller sized augers just because I only have an 18-volt drill. But now, after using it one time, I'm tempted to invest into a bigger drill so I can get the bigger augers and make planting even easier. So thank you so much to Power Planter for sending this out to me. Stay tuned for more fall planting videos for bulb planting and also for my seedling planting videos. I have a smaller version auger that Power Planter sent me as well, but I wasn't even planning to talk about this in the video, but it was so easy to plant this plant with this, I had to say something. All right, so let's get to planting the second plant over here. And literally 6 minutes later, I know because I was recording, I am done. I've got my second plant planted. That was so easy. I'm not even sweating, and I am not used to that for planting. So I could admit when I was wrong. When I'm wrong, I was definitely wrong about the auger, and I don't even have the right size. I just have this little bulb planter 3-inch size. So I am seriously thinking about buying a bigger drill so that I can get a bigger auger. But if you all are, I would say, on the weaker side or have weaker upper body strength, I would say think about even getting a small auger and then just drilling multiple holes around just to loosen up the soil, because then I could just go in with my hands and move the soil off to the side, and it was so much easier than using a shovel. So again, thank you so much to Power Planter. I really, really appreciate you guys working with me. You can see I have my Cashmere Bouquet right there, and I have another one right there. So one thing I will say about this Cashmere Bouquet plant is that they say they do tend to spread. So you have to either stay on top of it or be okay with it spreading a little bit. And where I put them, I'm perfectly happy with them spreading a little bit. They also, I planted them right next to the Some False Spirea from Monrovia, and this plant spreads as well. So they can just fight with each other under here for space. So I'm excited about it. I think that this is the perfect place for it, and I'm planning to sow those kirigami columbine right in front here. I think that that will be really, really pretty. So thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today. So the other thing that I wanted to accomplish today is oh my goodness, beautiful butterfly.